It's been a burning question for decades. It's wrong to kill people. But what makes it right to kill people who kill other people? Is the death penalty a deterrent to violent crime? Those and other questions are on the table at a conference organized by the British High Commission and European Union, which got underway on Tuesday at the Artichoke Convention Centre. The regional forum seeks to address the abolition of the death penalty. European Union Ambassador to Guyana, Zdeněk Videtic, addressed the need for a forum like this.
The objective of this conference is to bring experts and media from the Caribbean and Europe together to discuss the abolition of the death penalty and raise awareness of this important issue throughout the whole region. While there is an ever increasing majority of countries around the world who have abolished the death penalty, the Caribbean region is notable for the large amount of countries which still retain the death penalty.
The EU ambassador posited, however, that there have been positive developments with neighboring Suriname, abolishing the death penalty this very year. Minister of Governance Raffle Trotman delivered remarks on behalf of President Granger. He deemed the conference thought-provoking, noting that the topic is always hard on the ears, but at the same time gives rise to contentious debates on the right to life versus the right to security and justice.
Issues of democracy, constitutional supremacy, sovereignty, and statehood are not small matters in any dialogue on punishment by way of death, and as such, the challenge faced by states in making the decisions related to this human rights and justice conflict is real and more so pronounced when we overlay these with national and public safety and security realities. Here in Guyana, while the death penalty remains enshrined in law, in practice there is an unwritten and unspoken moratorium in effect. In almost 2 decades, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana has not applied punishment by way of death.
The moratorium referred to by Trotman is a 2010 amendment to the Criminal Offences Act, which removed the mandatory death penalty for persons convicted of murder. It, however, does not remove the capital punishment if the convicted person killed someone serving in the judicial or discipline services or a witness. The governance minister welcomed the discussions while posing a few stringent questions.
Whether we are prepared to agree and accept it or not, the incontrovertible and inconvenient truth is that one person's justice can be another person's injustice. One person's way of justice can be entirely different from the other's. How do we decide, and who gets to decide what justice is and how it should be administered? Therefore, the Government of Guyana welcomes this conference and congratulates this initiative on the part of the European Union and the British High Commission of Guyana to lend commitment to the processes that engender change and see the development of all parts towards human dignity and human rights.
Minister Trotman reflected on the recent attacks in Paris, deeming them horrendous. He said it causes one to ask whether the destruction of these terrorist elements actually violate the human right to life. In earlier discussions with head of the Guyana Human Rights Association, Mike McCormack, he expressed that the application of the capital punishment is not an effective treatment.
Hanging is no longer an effective option. It's still on the books, but it has been effectively shelved. And we fought for that to happen, so that from the Guyana Human Rights Association point of view, we do not think reintroduction of hanging in any way is progress with respect to the whole sentencing issue.
Some 13 countries in the Caribbean still have this punitive measure enshrined in their law books. Mr. McCormack deemed it cruel and argued that prisons are supposed to be reformative, and if this is not the real challenge, then what is? The event was attended by several local and foreign diplomats, relevant stakeholders, students, and members of the Caribbean press. For HGP Nightly News, Kingsley Bryan.